What's up, everybody? It's your boy Chaos, so welcome to a new episode of Take It to the Table, hosted by Wrestling Republic. We are here just pretty much a few days away, removed from WWE SummerSlam, so we got a lot of stuff to talk about. I am joined this time by none other than lifetime guest on the show, and that is Mr. Rymz. Welcome to the show, Mr. Rymz. How you doing?
Hey, glad to be back. It's been a hot minute now.
Yeah, it has. It has. I've been holding the fort since the transition to the Wrestling Republic YouTube channel. But as always, It's good to be back to have and it's always good to hear someone else's opinions on what's been going on. And it's been pretty busy in quite a few promotions, not just WWE.
This has been like a very. I think I even was talking to Billaire about it. Like, this has been a weekend where I've actually been excited to watch wrestling.
Yeah,
so, like, I was excited last week Friday. I watched Smackdown. I watched AEW, and then Saturday we had SummerSlam, and I actually watched I watched half of the pre-show. So I watched it from the Big E match. That was the only thing that happened, right?
Yeah. There's only one match on that.
Yeah, and then I watched all wrestling all weekend. I think I kind of fell off on Raw. I'm not gonna lie, I did.
Fair enough. You ain't missing much, trust me.
Yeah, but I haven't fully watched it.
Yeah, you're doing better than me. I pain myself, just torture myself through the whole 3 hours of Raw. So you're doing it the best way, to be honest, than watching it in its entirety, because you ain't missing fuck all. But of course, we are going to get into all of that. Of course, our other guest Matt will be joining us shortly as well. He's just running a bit late. Black man timing as always. But yeah. But yeah, we're just gonna get things started. We're gonna be talking about, of course, SummerSlam, the biggest party of the summer, as they always put it. Obviously, we're gonna be getting everyone's thoughts on the debut of this man right here, of course, as well as NXT Takeover, and that's why I want to talk about it, because if you see Tori's response, this is why I want to talk about it. But anyway, we're gonna be talking about Takeover and, of course, the aftermath. So right now it's just been Monday Night Raw, so post SummerSlam, and of course our thoughts of what the difference is of what we think is going to happen and what we want to happen next after SummerSlam. So that's why I want to really gauge everyone's thoughts on that. But so there's a lot to uncover. But without further ado, let's take it to the table. All right. So, like I said, WWE SummerSlam 2021 has been and gone. So, what's your thoughts? Was it a success, or what do you think it was a dud? Was it definitely the biggest party of the summer, or was it the biggest dud of the summer? Especially after AEW Rampage.
Well, see, I think it was one of those ones where, because this was such a hyped weekend anyway, because of SummerSlam, but then we've got just literally 4 days of wrestling or wrestling events, and then given the fallout or the excitement that CM Punk's return caused, I guess SummerSlam had a lot to live up to. But in the same breath, because it's SummerSlam, you expect a good show. I will say that, I guess for me, I've done that thing where I went into this with rose-colored glasses, because I was on a hype when it came on. I'm not gonna lie, I was in a really good mood, and it came on. I pre-gamed for it and everything like that. Legit, I was in a good mood watching SummerSlam. So I watched it and I enjoyed it. I actually really enjoyed the show. It's only on my rewatch, and I was like, wow, I missed a lot, and I feel a lot differently now since I rewatched it to how when I first watched it. So I'll probably be bouncing off of my opinions and stuff like that going through this. But yeah, I can't. Biggest event, the best event, I don't know.
Okay.
No, I think Money in the Bank had more in the tank for me.
Okay. Fair enough. Yeah, I mean, it was a very, for me personally, I think it was quite a divisive pay-per-view. Definitely had ups,
right?
Definitely had downs. We're going to get into the downs for sure. And I'm pretty sure, I'm very curious, and especially with certain matches. I'm very curious to know what your thoughts on them. But yeah, definitely. I think Money in the Bank definitely had more in the tank in terms of WTF, not WTF moments, but just bigger moments. A lot of matches played out exactly what I was expecting. So like a lot of my predictions were like pretty much on the money, 100% of the the outcomes. So I think because of that, compared to obviously Money in the Bank, that's why I think this one kind of fell short. But that's not to say that because obviously the outcomes were as I predicted, didn't really detract it like what was the quality of the matches. They were pretty for the most part pretty good. But yeah, I'll say it was pretty good. Now, obviously they had a lot to live up to compared to obviously the biggest news that happened 24 hours prior. But I think for the most part, yeah, I think it was quite a solid pay-per-view from just the overall of it. It was pretty solid. But of course, we're going to delve into each match and obviously get our thoughts into each of them. So the first match was, of course, on the kickoff, and it was between Big E and Baron Corbin. Obviously, at this time, Baron Corbin was still holding Big E's Money in the Bank contract, even though it was kind of pointless. Like there was no way he was going to cash it in or do some madness with it. But either way, Baron Corbin came out with the briefcase, and obviously Big E came out, pretty much battered him. It was an average lengthy match, and yeah, of course, Big E got the win on that, and obviously got back his possession of the briefcase. What did you see that match on the kickoff show?
I did see it. I did kind of feel like, it was, I guess, for me, disappointing to see Big E on the kickoff show, considering he's the Money in the Bank holder. However, as long as he was featured on SummerSlam, that's what matters. And he was. So I'm hoping that moving forward, he gets a bit more of a prominent spot. Like, I'd like him to get I feel like there hasn't really been a solid Money in the Bank holder since Seth Rollins, or maybe Dolph Ziggler. Was Dolph Ziggler first, right?
Yeah, Dolph Ziggler was before Seth.
Right, but then when they held the briefcase kind of mattered. Yeah. So Ziggler, I think Ziggler even headlined the pay-per-view where the briefcase was on the line, right?
Yeah,
it was him and John Cena and whatever. So. And then with Rollins, when he was holding the briefcase, it was the J&J security, and he was being protected and all this sort of stuff. So when they had the briefcase, it kind of mattered. But then I feel like since then, every Money in the Bank holder has either cashed in on the night or been kind of not held it or not done anything while they're holding it. So it was Carmella held it after Rollins, right? So. Was Rollins who was the Money Bank after Rollins? I can't remember.
Wasn't it Ambrose?
It was Ambrose after Rollins.
I think Ambrose was after Rollins, and that was when on that same night that all three members held the WWE title of the Shield.
Right.
I'll bring it up just to be sure. Yeah, we just to be sure.
Yeah, and then Ambrose would have been the last holder before the draft, right?
Sure. I can't think that far. So wait, hold on. History. Okay. So you're saying from Seth Rollins, okay. All right. So 2014 was Seth Rollins. Then it was. Yeah, it was.
2015 was Ambrose.
No, Sheamus won that one. Sheamus won it next. That was.
Oh yes,
yeah.
Yes,
Sheamus won it next.
But that wasn't lengthy. He didn't do anything with it. He cashed it in the next pay-per-view, SummerSlam, right?
No, he cashed it in the Survivor Series. He had it for a while. He won it in June, and he cashed it in Survivor Series on the Roman Reigns.
Yeah, but in Survivor Series October sort of time.
No, the Survivor Series has always been November.
Oh, it's November. Okay, but yes, okay. I hope. So this is the thing. What I'm saying is, I'm saying people who have done something or been in a spot with the briefcase. I don't remember Sheamus doing anything with the briefcase. He just had it.
To be fair, that section on the year is quite short. Like it's just one paragraph. And then afterwards, it was, it was Dean Ambrose. Then it was Ambrose,
and he cashed it in on the same night.
Yeah, I think it was.
And then the year afterwards would have been Baron Corbin.
That would be correct. Yep, that would be Baron Corbin. I think after Corbin, that's when it kind of went downhill. Like obviously, then after that,
Baron Corbin he cashed in and failed, but Carmella held it for almost an entire year. But then she wasn't in a spot; she just had the briefcase.
Then she cashed it in a random episode of SmackDown. Yeah. Then the one after that,
it was the SmackDown after WrestleMania, wasn't it?
Yeah. And then after that was who was this one? Was it Strowman? Yeah, it was Strowman. Strowman won it.
I don't remember Strowman being, and then Strowman cashed it in like he announced his match, and then it was like a no contest in Hell in a Cell. Dumb.
Yeah, that was really dumb. And then that's when he cashed in that Crown Jewel, wasn't it?
No, he cashed it in at Hell in a Cell against Roman Reigns, and then because Brock Lesnar interfered.
All right, yeah, sorry, yeah. So that was the first one to fail by a no contest ruling. Yep. And then in the women's, then it was Bliss won that one.
Alexa Bliss, Bayley, and Asuka were all like they all held it for like the same night or the night after, and they cashed in. And then even now, same with Nikki Ash, cashed in the night after. So no one's like taking the briefcase and like really kind of like holding it and like being like, I guess, brought up or elevated with the case. They're kind of just holding it, and that's it. And then fair enough, I guess Big E's doing that thing where he's like, what's that word? He's like antagonizing Paul Heyman and stuff like that. But then it's like, I'd like him to kind of be having matches like, storyline.
Storyline worthy. Yeah, that's how it used to be. Yeah, like obviously there is some like kind of like upper mid card type of feuds, but obviously and they kind of do some little teases with teasing the champion at the time and stuff. So. Which Big E, to his credit, he has had little interactions. Well, not directly with Roman Reigns, but mainly to Paul Heyman. Whereas Paul Heyman is obviously talking to Kayla, and then he turns to the left, and you just see Big E holding the cash, the Money in the Bank briefcase. But yeah, nothing substantial to make you feel like he could be a credible, that can make you believe that he can cash in at any time, and then you get excited. So I totally understand that. Which hopefully They the fact that he hasn't cashed it in and they haven't done anything stupid like what he did last year with Otis and The Miz and whatnot, then we'll see. There's still time. Right now is no. I don't think right now is not the time to cash it in. I think they should wait for it to be at one of the big four pay-per-views, either Royal Rumble or Mania. I'm fine with it being at Mania. Do another Mania cash in. The last one is obviously Rollins. And it's been a while, so why not do that again? But obviously, obviously you can't replicate what he did, but still, like it'll be still like he could get the last laugh after a crazy match if Reigns, if he still had the title till then, it'll be just a great, perfect ending. So yeah, other than that, this match was by the numbers. I knew that Big E was going to win. Of course, he has to get back the contract and continue the downward trend of, as what Pat McAfee says, bum ass Baron Corbin. That match was only 6 minutes 35 seconds as well.
Yeah, so like regular TV match.
Yeah, standard TV match. Next up was, of course, now the match card actually started. So the main card of SummerSlam, and it started with RK Bro, which consists of course, Randy Orton and Matt Riddle against AJ Styles and Omos for the Raw Tag Team Championships. Good match to start with, I must say. This one, it was a good way to get the crowd up and just energized for the rest of the night. This one, I predicted that RK Bro was going to win. It's the other way to pay off this craziness that's happening between Orton and Riddle. Good. It was a good opener. Nothing spectacular, but I thought it was fairly solid. Well, what's your thoughts on this match?
Okay, so going into SummerSlam, I will say there were a good few matches that I just did not care for. That I knew I was gonna sit through.
It was I understand that.
This was one of them. So it was one of those ones where I kind of had it in my mind that I would like if they were going to open with like a match that I cared for. And then once I heard Riddle's music play, I was like, oh god, like why would this match have to go first? But I don't. It's not that I dislike Orton and Riddle. Well, I don't really care for Riddle, I'm not gonna lie. But I kind of assumed that they were going to win. It just kind of made sense and that the writing was on the wall in terms of their storytelling and foreshadowing. So I was like, yeah, okay, so they're going to win, and they did. So.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Like you said, to be honest, out of everything of Raw, they are so far pretty much the best part of Raw. That's how dire things are on that show. So yeah, I mean, it was cool. It was a good happy moment. Yeah, they are the hardest thing right now. So of course they were going to win the titles. AJ and Omos don't really need them right now. So yeah, it was by the numbers. That one was only 7. Sorry.
I feel like Omos needs to be built up because technically Randy Orton gave his first loss, which I was not here for.
Well, yeah. I think
instead of paper loss, it's not like he was pinned or he was submitted, but it's still a loss.
So. I guess. So but he's still undefeated in singles action, even though he hasn't really had anything in singles. But they still got that to hold on to. They can still put that little technicality in there. But fair enough. So yeah, that match was only 7 minutes 5 seconds. So again, TV show length. It was fine. Next up was pretty much the second possible match of the night: Alexa Bliss versus Eva Marie with Doudrop.
Ooh.
Okay, now
this. You tapped out by this point.
Say again.
You had said that you tapped out by this point.
So basically, for everyone that's listening and watching, so this match was obviously I was gonna just watch as much of the pay-per-view because I had an early start to work, so I wanted to go all the way to go to a certain point where I knew whatever match was gonna be next, I could that's enough. I don't want to see this match, so I can rest easy, so I'm not gonna miss anything. Sure enough, this was pretty much the second match into the card, and I was like, yeah, I don't give a damn about this. I'm going to bed. So yeah, and sure enough, yeah, like even though this match is apparently 3 minutes and 50 seconds, this match felt triple that.
Very long.
It felt very.
Like this match was going on for like forever.
Yeah, so I'm really surprised when I see that 3 minutes and 50 seconds. Everyone knows how I feel about this Alexa Bliss stick. I really hope they. It looks like, unfortunately, it doesn't look like they're going to be stopping this anytime soon. And
You're not a fan?
I'm not a fan. No. It was fun while it lasted. Really? When she paired up with Fiend, and then when they pretty much take the Fiend character and then just plopped it fully on Bliss, and then you get the doll and you get the dumbness and the difference between the doll and obviously all the puppets in the Firefly Funhouse. I don't know. There's something about Bray Wyatt just made it work. No one really complained about it. But the dumbness that they put it on when she's got the Lily thing, and then she's making all these tough athletes be afraid of a doll. Like that thing with Shayna Baszler, absolutely destroys Shayna Baszler. And yeah, it's too hokey. It's too hokey. Like. The Fiend thing was obviously a bit, and the Firefly Funhouse was obviously definitely out there, but you kind of allow it because it's Bray Wyatt and it was creative and it was different. But the thing that they're doing, what you could tell the difference between that Wyatt had creative, and you could tell the difference when it's WWE writers that have creative. You know what I mean? And obviously the thing with Bliss and Lily, that is definitely the WWE writers all over that shit, and it's just hokey as fuck. That's to me. That's my opinion. I just think this paranormal evil side of Alexa Bliss has definitely run its course. It was fun while it lasted, but yeah, she needs to be done with it. I'm sorry. Why are you asking me that question? Are you feeling it?
Well, yeah. Well, as you already know from prior shows that we've done and everything like that, I am a Alexa Bliss mark. I do love me some Alexa Bliss. I did like when she initially changed with the Fiend and whatnot. did kind of think that the seed planting and all that sort of stuff took too long.
Yeah.
But then when we finally got there and whatnot, I was here for it. I wasn't against it. What I disliked with the Alexa Bliss thing is I disliked how. Okay, that's right. I dislike what it's seeming like the transition of. Okay, then so we took a character that Bray Wyatt made up and we put it on Alexa Bliss. That to me does seem like the optics look are bad for that. But then in the same breath, I don't think she's doing a bad job.
No,
it is I don't think it's any different from Bray Wyatt. It's just being presented to us in a more watered down way. Mm-hmm. So I guess Wyatt's Ray was very kind of in your face, and you're going to get it all at once. Whereas with Alexa Bliss, it's kind of like she'll have like 2 or 3 segments on a show for you to understand where it's going.
Mm.
That makes sense. Like they're kind of dragging her one out, or I feel like they'll kind of put her in spots where what's going to happen kind of doesn't really deliver. So it kind of misses its mark.
Mm.
But I'm kind of sort of here for it. In this sort of case, it's just like I think what she needs is she just needs that solid, I guess, partner or solid person, like a solid feud to kind of really establish her character, which she hasn't had yet. Because the Shayna Baszler thing was kind of like no one was really caring for Baszler and Nia Jax at the time. And then it's like, I guess this thing with Eva Marie and whatnot, like, I'm sorry, you can't put someone over by pairing them with Eva Marie. It doesn't.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And it was just like a thing where, and the thing is that you give these two, like, as much as you hate to admit it, they're big names, they are, and whatnot. And you can't give these two matches, or a match at SummerSlam, and it's like, I don't know Alexa Bliss to be a ring general, because she's not. And Eva Marie damn sure is no ring general. So what were they going to give us? You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
And so it really was a kind of you're going to sink or you're going to sink with this one. There was no sink or swim. It's like you're going to sink or you're going to sink. And yeah, this match it was one of those ones where even I'm watching it, I'm just like, wow. And I rally for the women, and I can't up-talk this match.
Yeah,
I can't. And then if people are going to slate this match and they're going to give it bad ratings, they're going to do this and that, and it's like, I have to agree. It wasn't good.
It didn't benefit anybody. And yeah, it really baffles me how that was just under 4 minutes, because I felt an absolute slog. The crowd wasn't into it. They, it's
right. They were actually quiet.
They were actually quiet, and that's 50,000 people. If you can't motivate 50,000 people, you're doing something wrong. So by the looks of things, at the end of that, it seems to be that's pretty much the end of Eva Marie and Doudrop, and it looks like Alexa Bliss hopefully has moved on, which we'll obviously get to exactly the aftermath as to what's going on with Alexa Bliss. But yeah, that was all done and dusted. Mm-hmm. Alexa Bliss won by pinfall. Of course she did.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all there is to it.
Off of a standard DDT as well, and I was kind of wondering like why, because she has a whole.
But she doesn't. I don't think it's Eva Marie. I don't think she can take a Sister Abigail or anything like that, or a Twisted Bliss properly. It's like Eva Marie is so stiff. Like you could tell that even so many times where you can see that she's always shimmying into position and stuff. Nothing's natural with her. Everything has to you have to do steps with Eva Marie. And I think that's why she just didn't bother to do a Sister Abigail, because I got a feeling most likely Eva Marie will just fuck it up. So, yeah, standard DDT. Screw it. Screw it. So, yeah, next match was Damien Priest versus Sheamus for the United States Championship, or as I like to call Sheamus, the Flasher, because he's got this flashing thing, like he's covering himself and he just flashes himself with the title. It's kind of like he's trying to be streaking or something, but it's with the title. But
had you not have said that, I would never have thought that. Never. That's all I'm going to see now. So thank you for that.
Anytime. I was just like, this guy is gonna expose himself. But I did like this little title run with Sheamus, even though for the most part he didn't really defend it, obviously due to injury and whatnot. But He still had that bully aura about him. Obviously with Humberto Carrillo and Ricochet, which they both didn't even benefit from this thing at all. So absolute travesty. But then of course, so he had this feud with Damien Priest. They have great chemistry, I must say. This one was pretty much similar to the match they had on Raw. They faced each other about twice now on Raw. Of course they have. It's the home of rematches on Raw. But of course, it was good back and forth, good showing from Damien Priest. We all know that he can go, and of course, Damien Priest won and is now your new United States champion. What's your thoughts on it? You said you didn't really care for this one either. Is that correct?
No, yeah, this was another match that it's just like I knew it was gonna happen, but honestly, I don't care. And I think my thing is that what it is with me with a lot of these stars. Or I think if you remember me saying, in order for me to care for a match, I have to at least have a like for at least one of the superstars. So yes, fair enough, I am a Sheamus fan, always will be. However, I think I'm just so disconnected from Damien Priest now that it was really hard for me to care for this match.
Mm-hmm.
And it was one of those things where it got to the point where I think they started doing near falls. And I was like, no. I was like, please don't drag this match on longer than it has to. Like, can this match just be done? Like, can it just be done? However, it did get to a point where the match started getting good.
Yeah.
So then I was like, okay, then. So I might be in, let's see where this goes. And then, unfortunately, with Priest winning, I was like, oh,
okay.
Like I'm not upset that he won, but I'm not happy that he won. It's kind of because again, I'm just so disconnected from his character. I don't get it. I don't.
Yeah, it's weird. Like, you think that he's like obviously this demonic worshiper, and then he's obviously shooting invisible arrows and stuff, and all of a sudden he's Puerto Rican, and then me as well. I don't really fully get what he's meant to portray. Does he have Does he have these unearthly powers? Like, what is it? Yeah, so I totally get that.
Right. And the thing is that in NXT, it was like, okay, I still didn't really get, I guess, the Archer thing or whatnot. But in NXT, because he didn't really speak, because he was just more of how can I put it? He had a bit of like an allure, like a mystique about him in NXT. Yeah. And then his appearance was very kind of in your face, very alternative, very kind of gothic, very rocky, or very punk. And then it's like, okay, then so I'm getting Mystique, I'm getting Punk, I'm getting like all of that sort of stuff. Okay, this works. Yes. I can rock with that and whatnot. And then, he very rarely spoke and whatnot. And so, yeah, I can rock with that. When you put him on Raw and you give him sort of the same sort of character, but then now he's like standing up for the good guy and whatnot, rocking these bright gay colors and whatnot. but then still being in this sort of like trying to have this sort of like allure and mystique and all that sort of stuff. And it was kind of like it's such a disconnect. It's like they're not adding up.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm kind of like, can I rock with this? I don't know. And I was like, even watching the SummerSlam or whatnot, and then he came out in the bright blue, and I'm like, no, shouldn't he be in, like, if he's gonna have the blue on it, it needs to be like look at Rhea Ripley, like it has to be a little amount of blue, but the outfit needs to be black to kind of at least get the look together. Yeah, you get it, but then the look is like it's there, it's just not for what his character or what I guess they're trying to make him be. It's just
he does have an assortment of colors. Like it's to the point where you don't know what his default, like if you when WWE 2K22 comes out, God, that's another subject on its own. But when that comes out, you're not sure exactly what his default color is because he comes out in all different assortments. It's crazy. You don't know what his is. You can't imagine what he looks like. So it's kind of like, again, he doesn't. You can't identify. You can't. Say again.
You're gonna put him in that god awful WrestleMania purple.
Probably.
That was the outfit he was literally wearing up until SummerSlam. He had been wearing that purple, and it's just like, I don't get it.
Mm.
But that's just me for Damien Priest. It's not that I'm not saying that I dislike his in-ring work or I dislike his style in terms of like how he is as a wrestler. I just don't understand the majority of the package.
Yeah.
So therefore, I just took the package.
Oh, yeah. No, I get
So
that. I get that.
that's just me though on that one.
Fair enough.
That's what I can really say on that one. So yeah, US title never been my favorite title anyway. So
Yeah.
it's unfortunate that Sheamus was in this predicament, but if he would have won, I would have been like, yeah, the guy I like won. Funny enough, he was my prediction. That's the only one I got wrong.
Oh, fair enough.
Oh, and obviously the SmackDown Women's title, but we'll get into that.
Yeah, of course. Okay, fair enough. So of course, like I said, Damien Priest won that by pinfall. So he's now your new United States Championship. He's your new United States champion.
Mm-hmm.
That one was in 13 minutes 50 seconds. So it was very lengthy.
Only 13 minutes. Wow.
Yeah.
But that one felt like it went on for longer. But I thought that one was like at least 20 minutes.
Fair enough. No, but 13 minutes. Okay, and then next up was the Usos versus Rey and Dominic Mysterio for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. Now, everyone knows that, of course, the Usos are the current SmackDown champions, and there's been a bit of like a mixture of wins and losses between for the Mysterios. This one, it was, of course, they have great chemistry. They put on a great match. The ending kind of disappointed me a bit. The reason being because, first off, of course, the winners were the Usos. They retained the SmackDown Championships. But I ain't gonna lie, I was kind of hoping for a little swerve. I was expecting a possible heel turn. Especially...
Literally, we were watching that match, and then we were like, okay, then so here we go. Here's the first wave of shenanigans, and then we were having bets. So we were like, okay, then so because we had our alcohol. So my dogs are just on one, but yeah, we had our alcohol, and the idea was that okay, then so we poured drinks for this match, and it was like the bet was he thought that Rey Mysterio was going to turn on Dominic, right?
No way.
And then the idea was that if that was going to happen, you had to down your drinks. Or I had to down my drink. So I was like, well, no, because I would say I don't think Rey Mysterio is never in the heel position.
He would never.
If someone was going to turn, it would be Dominic. But I don't know that it would. I don't get where Dominic or why he would want to change in this one. But if there is gonna be a heel turn swerve, I think it's gonna be Dominic. And he was like, no, it has to be Rey Mysterio because that's the only thing he's not done on WWE TV. But no, so we had it so that whoever would lose had to down their drink and then.
yeah, exactly. Just face to black.
They gave us like a regular match, and it was like,
yeah. I was totally rooting for Dominic to turn because obviously obviously, like I said, there was some miscommunications in previous matches, like Dominic against Jay or Jimmy Uso and stuff, and then there was like a little bit of friction, and obviously Rey Mysterio kept on apologizing for showing tough love to Dominic and all that kind of stuff, and there was I was like, surely this would be the perfect setting. I mean, this was like the pay-per-view where it was the custody for Dominic with Eddie and Rey. This would have been the perfect pay-per-view to do it. Since he loves carrying him on his back, he could have done like a freaking electric chair drop to Rey on the ramp or something. It would have been just be perfect. Let's I'm done with you. Don't talk. Don't why are you talking down to me? Fuck you. Like, you know what I mean? What was I saying?
But yes, and they just gave us like a regular outcome and a regular match, and I was it was a good match. I'll give them that. It genuinely was a good match. However, it was just the ending just fell flat because it was a standard ending.
Exactly.
What I will say that I found interesting though is that they had it so Rey Mysterio took the fall. However, he took I'm gonna say 90% of the damage and so many finishes to take the fall.
Yeah. That's
because didn't he kick out of 2 Uso splashes and he kicked out of a whole combination the Samoan drop and then the Uso splash, and he went through all these finishes.
Yes.
He was kicking out, and then didn't he just end with what was it, a Uso splash after the super kick, whatever it was?
Yes, that's correct.
So, he went through an array of finishes, but then still took the fall, and it was when Dominic got in the ring and they were like, oh
yes,
ooh, and then it just cut off, and you're like, oh come on,
mm-hmm.
nothing.
That would have been a great moment.
Oh, so go on.
Yeah, I know what I'm saying. That would have been a great moment, for sure.
Right.
But yeah, they kind of dropped the ball on that for sure. But yeah, like I said, yeah, the Usos won via the Uso splash, and that match was 10 minutes and 50 seconds. So that was shorter than the Damien Priest match. So yeah,
10 minutes, really?
yeah,
Wow. Okay.
yeah.
It would be good to point out. Okay, maybe I'm missing something, but what was Dominic and Rey Mysterio's gear? It was the pink and the yellow, but what is it? Is that like something to do with like a pop culture thing? Because I know Rey Mysterio does that.
No idea. Yeah, no one's, no idea. I would have to look that up and find out if that.
Because I was not feeling it at all. Like
it's not memorable. I don't remember it, to be honest. But yeah, yeah.
I love me some pink. I love me some yellow, but put them together and in that way, it wasn't working for me.
Fair enough.
I needed a lot more black and or white to kind of break down the outfit. But sure.
Fair enough. Okay.
I'm gonna have to start doing that. Like, start breaking down their outfits for us, and to be like, oh yeah, like we'll look at this.
Yeah, there might be have to be a segment like saying, everyone's outfits, and then you give them a rating and stuff. We'll talk about it. We might have to do that. That might be your segment on Take It to the Table. We'll talk about that. Well, yeah. Okay. So next up on the card was of course Sasha Banks versus Bianca Belair for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Now this is what I want to know about. I want to get your 2 cents on this. So let's just break it down for people that actually didn't watch it. Fair enough. So Bianca Belair came out, and she was obviously doing an entrance and everything. Obviously this was for the whole week. For the past couple of weeks, they've been promoting that Sasha Banks is going to be there. There's obviously, if you've been reading the dirt sheets, there's been talks about both of them were missing. They missed a few live shows due to unforeseen circumstances. Bianca Belair showed up on SmackDown the night prior to SummerSlam. Sasha Banks wasn't there, but they were still scheduling, saying they're still promoting that Sasha Banks is going to be there. There was talks on the dirt sheets that she was going to be there. So yeah, Bianca Belair came out, and then the ring announcer came out and said, unfortunately, Sasha Banks is not able to show up tonight. So now we have a replacement, and it is going to be none other than the most beautiful woman in WWE, Carmella. Came out, chorus of boos. They were like, what the fuck is it? We just got this last night. She faced her last night, but both her and Vega the night before. And yeah, came out saying, yeah, this is gonna be it. And Bianca Belair saying, don't worry, me and Banks, we're gonna fight. Don't worry, we will. But I'm gonna take my frustrations out on Carmella. Seemed like it was definitely happening. The ref came out, held up the title. The bell was about to ring, and then all you hear is whoa. And then the man came back with her huge return after pretty much a year out, isn't it, since her pregnancy?
Right. Yeah.
Looks great. Huge cheers.
She did. Becky Lynch, considering she just had a baby, her body is banging.
Yeah.
Like, wow. Okay.
Yeah, crazy. Yeah, she put that work.
Her snapback game is great. I mean, she lost a lot of size. Yeah. So she's like quite slim, but
she's jacked.
Considering you just had a baby, I give you that. Like, wow.
100%. So yeah, she came out. Everyone's giving her like pretty much the biggest, one of the biggest pops of the night. And then she was obviously all three of them were in the ring. Carmella, Becky, and Bianca. Becky lays out Carmella. Then she just comes in and saying, since I'm back, why don't we have a match and blow the roof off this joint. Bianca was like a bit hesitant, and she was like, yeah, fine, fuck it, let's go. I'll fight you. Soon as the bell ring, Becky holds her hand out, have a great quick shake, quick elbow to the face, completely just messes up Bianca, and then she goes for the now called the manhandle slam, hits Bianca Belair with the manhandle slam, 1, 2, 3, and we now have a new SmackDown Women's Champion. The Bianca Belair's reign ends in pretty much exactly as the timing says on here, 26 seconds. So yeah, now I need the floor is yours, Mr. Rhymes. What is your thoughts on Bianca Belair not only losing to someone that's been gone away for a year, but losing in a squash fashion.
Okay, so in all honesty,
Well, no, scratch it. Sorry, scratch that. What was your reaction as soon as that happened? That's all I want to know.
I was stunned. My mouth was open. My mouth dropped open. My little brother was like filming me for his Snapchat. He's just like, if I can get the video off, I would try to get off him. But he like literally, he just laughed because I was literally just like, I didn't know what to say. Like I couldn't react. I wasn't happy about that.
Hey.
Yeah, it's like I didn't know how to react to that because. In a sense, yes, I'm not gonna lie, Becky Lynch, although she has been gone, I will say I do feel like the women's division was lacking some soul.
Oh yeah, 110%.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that everyone's bad. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that everyone hasn't been able to hold it down.
And if you look at the roster, it's stripped. It is very thin. It's waver thin. So especially on the SmackDown side.
Right.
It's waver thin, so yeah.
Right, and in all honesty, SmackDown, aside from Sasha Banks, does need a top heel. And Becky Lynch, to be honest, was never a face character. So it makes sense for her to return for a foil for Bianca Belair. Like, I would not be against that. However, I just would not, the writing for all of that, and then all of the politics just surrounding that presentation.
Yes.
Was just so typical WWE for me.
Yeah.
Because, not only do you just now crush, I guess, the one of the black women that just headlined your WrestleMania, but then straight after this match, you sent out the 2 gold medalist black people for, the black gold medalists the other day. It was like, read the room, WWE. You can't, you can't screw over one black woman and then now try to promote these black people. It was just like, oh.
Yeah.
Anywho. But then with that though, it's just like I honestly thought it was gonna be because Sasha Banks put the tweet out that said I think she quoted maybe it was a WWE post or something. I can't remember what. But she quoted it and then she put "Let's light it up" with the fire emoji.
Okay.
So that's obviously AJ Lee's theme, isn't it? Which would make sense, which I was like, oh, because, fair enough, I understand Punk returned to AEW, but it would make sense if, as a couple, they want to make that WWE money, so AJ Lee could work a Brock Lesnar schedule in WWE. I think she could anyway. So when they do that, I'm now like, oh, it's Sasha Banks teasing that that's going to happen kind of thing. So I thought when they're like, oh, she's not going to compete and whatnot, because, we had been reading the bleachers throughout the night, and they said Sasha Banks, still up to this point, was not in the arena. So then I'm like, okay, so that match probably won't happen, but they're advertising something. And then when he's like, oh, Carmella's going to come out. So I was like, oh, they're probably going to do that thing where she's going to breeze through Carmella and then she's going to be like, send out someone else. She's going to breeze through Selena Vega, bring out someone else. And then that third person will be a return or a big moment. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
They were going to probably do something like that, only for Carmella to come out. And then she's like, okay, we're going to have this match. And then Becky Lynch walks out. And you're like, okay, cool. So nice to see your return. I'm here for that. And then when they're like, oh, they're going to have the match. And to me, I'm like, okay, then. So give us a match.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to end. It doesn't have to end in a pinfall or anything like that. It could have ended in no DQ. Oh, sorry, it could have ended in a DQ, a count out, or something that basically brings us to their big ultimate match where Becky Lynch will win the title or whatever. But for it to just be like it was over in 20 seconds. And it's like, so what the hell has Bianca Belair been doing for the past 3, 4, 5 months?
Exactly. She faced Bayley. She had lengthy matches with Bayley, lengthy matches with Carmella, all this, and basically Bianca pretty much got Kofi Kingston. She got Kofi Kingston to a female Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, right, and it just kind of felt very I'm not happy about that. But then, I'm happy that Becky is back, but I'm not happy at what happened in her coming back or what happened in order for her to come back. It just didn't it left a bad taste in my mouth. I will say that.
Yeah.
And if any of you get a chance, or anyone who's watching this gets a chance, go and watch Nikki Bella shooting on that match.
Oh, I've seen it. I saw it. Yeah, she did not hold back. She was like, there was nothing to remember about it. So and true. I mean, there was talks about her being banned from SummerSlam as well. So maybe she might have been hot from that. But
Well,
was that Nikki or was it Brie that said it? Was Nikki Bella that said that, wasn't it?
It was Nikki.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were like, "Oh, what's your favorite moment?" She's like, "I'd say it was not my favorite moment, and it was when she lost."
Yeah. So understandable.
Like, that was a mess and
absolute mess. It didn't really make sense of doing it. I think they pretty much just unraveled what they did with like. I'm not saying it's not Fiend career ending. It's not like when Goldberg defeated the Fiend career ending, but I think they just pretty much they took like 10 steps back with Bellaire, and it's and now there's talk about apparently Becky Lynch is a heel now.
Because essentially she won in dirty fashion, so therefore she would technically be a heel.
But obviously, but I must say that makes me wonder about the situation with Sasha Banks must be severe because she was the top heel, but now they're saying that Becky Lynch now is the top heel on SmackDown. So what the hell is going on with Sasha? Like, no one knows what's going on there. They're saying it's not an injury. I'm thinking it might be COVID, but I don't know.
I think it just could be pregnant.
I'm thinking it's also could be pregnant as well. But why did Bianca get taken out in the first place as well?
What? Sorry.
What? Because Bianca was out for at the same time. It was both Bianca and Sasha that was out. They missed quite a few live shows together, but it was Bianca obviously that came back, but not Sasha. So I'm just like, where was Bianca's involvement? Like, what the hell happened?
I don't think that Bianca Belair missed the show because she wasn't there. I just think that match didn't happen, so therefore they just kept her in the back and just replaced that match with something else. But Sasha Banks, I guess, is going through whatever she's going through. Maybe she's high risk, maybe she's something. So right now, I think what's that thing that you need your first trimester you can't say or you don't want. That's the time when your levels or whatever it is that's the time so you can use the baby and all stuff. So therefore. Maybe she's going through that right now and she can't talk about it or she doesn't want to talk about it or she doesn't want to risk it or anything like that. So I can understand that's the case, but because they're not saying anything and given the time, everyone's going to assume COVID, but then if that's the case, then that would mean that there's a bunch of people that are going to isolate that have been working with her. So it's like, so I don't think it was that. So I do think it's probably something really, really serious. But in terms of like all of that, it was just like, I think I read as well about when so as much as everyone whenever you watch a documentary they're always like Vince is a genius, they always keep saying this, right? And they always talk about like he can always see things blah blah. So I understand when I read how he wanted that match to play off because he said that he kept trying to be like people won't see it as a burial of Bianca Belair. He wants to basically just make the Becky Lynch return the biggest it could possibly be.
Oh of course,
possibly. I get that. And yes, they did that. But in doing that, the unfortunate thing is we were all riding the Bianca Belair train. So you're going to cut that in the way that you did. It kind of just leaves a poor taste in everyone's mouth. It's like, if Becky Lynch is going to return and win the belt, at least give them 20 minutes. You know what I mean? Yeah, exactly. Exactly. At least make Becky have to work at it. Whether I don't know if she's not entirely clear to compete, maybe she can only do so much. But it has to be like there has to be some kind of give or take here. And for me, I just feel like it just didn't work. Yeah, that's for sure. What's your thoughts on everyone? Also, please, by the way, welcome Matt, being late. Thank you, Matt. But welcome back to the show. Of course, we are just delving into all the matches that happened. On SummerSlam this past Saturday, and obviously you jumped right into the pretty much most important match so far in the card, which was the originally scheduled Sasha Banks versus Bianca Belair, but it ultimately ended up being Becky Lynch versus Bianca Belair, and as I'm pretty sure you've seen it, she pretty much won in 24 seconds. What were your thoughts on that outcome? Do you agree with it? Should it have been longer? Did the right person win? What's your thoughts?
I mean, I get what people think about it, saying it's stepping down on what Bianca Belair did over the last few months. Mm-hmm. But maybe Vince did that just so people can talk about it and create a lot of controversy around it and get heat towards Becky or whatever.
There's better ways of doing it. I mean, I mean, when Daniel Bryan won the title against AJ, and that was a lengthy match, and he turned heel in that match, and everyone was talking about that. You know, why? Yeah, I don't think you need to create those kind of moments because the pay per view was big enough as it was already. Like you have marquee matches. That's Becky Lynch's return is enough to get people talking after the match. You don't need to necessarily you don't need to Kofi Kingston back Bianca Belair. She deserved better. I'm sorry, but she deserved better. Obviously, they're all going to run it back. Bianca's obviously, I should assume that she'll be getting her rematch back. But then again, obviously, Kofi Kingston never got his rematch, so who knows? Well, he did get it back, but not till like a year later. But yeah. So yeah,
it was still squashed. So I mean,
well, there you go. Yeah, exactly. So yeah,
I'm not gonna lie. I was actually gonna say what match was that. Then I realized Bobby Lashley versus Kofi Kingston.
Yeah, don't worry. We get into that. We'll get to that. Don't say nothing yet. We'll get to that. Don't worry. We'll get into that. But yeah, ultimately, I think.
Like, what are these hysterics?
Huh?
Yeah, fully like.
Yeah, no, he's cracking himself up. I'm just like, we'll get into that for sure. But yeah, I think this one is very divisive online. People saying like it was good. People saying it was like what the hell. I'm more on the what the hell side. They got a lot of making up to do on this Friday, and see what's going on there. But yeah, it was a really bizarre take to do on that kind of match, on that between them two. It was a really bizarre thing to do. But yeah, everyone that's over. Yeah, right now Becky Lynch is your new SmackDown Women's Championship, coming straight off. Well, not straight off from pregnancy, but you know she's been gone since then till now. And
oh yeah, one last thing. Do you see online that people apparently were going after Seth and Becky's child as well?
Maybe going after her child.
I didn't see that, but we're not gonna do that.
Yeah, we ain't gonna do that. That's pathetic. But that's a bit much. It's not that deep, but yeah, whatever. But yeah, moving on from that match was the next best match on the card: Drew McIntyre against Jinder Mahal, with Veer and Shanky being banned from ringside. Now, this was another match. Even though it's 4 minutes and 40 seconds long, it felt like it was 10 minutes long. I'm not gonna lie, that also dragged to hell. I honestly think that this match should have been on the pre-show. Nothing was going. Most matches on the Raw side, I said on one of my episodes before, I was not looking forward to them. There was nothing enticing me in any of the matches.
Right.
On the SmackDown side.
They weren't doing anything. It's
no.
Like, go on.
No, I'm just saying, nothing was happening on there. Like the lead up to all that to obviously to the culmination at SummerSlam. The whole storylines were just ridiculous. Everything was. It wasn't even about Drew and Jinder. This whole storyline was about his fucking sword. That's what it was about. There was nothing about them two. Nothing about their 3MB history. Nothing about how they were former WWE champions. It was all about Angela, the fucking sword. Who cares? And all these pointless stories that Drew keeps on talking about, Churchill and the Loch Ness Monster and all this Scottish folklore. It was done. It was not for me. It was absolutely stupid.
Right. It just seemed like a thing where it's like I think the thing is with Drew. Drew's in an art streak. We'll give him that. And then even this year, he was in one of the marquee matches at WrestleMania. We'll give him that. So people forget, well, people will always forget, I guess, or that at one point Jinder Mahal was also a WWE champion. Like he is a former champion. So if there was ever going to be anyone to kind of, I guess, be built off McIntyre's hot streak, I think it could have been Jinder Mahal, and that's what I thought they were trying to do. Because at the end of the day, like there's no point having a former champion there that you ain't doing shit with. Like Jinder Mahal could be running some decent storylines or anything like that. Like he's not a bad in-ring competitor. He's just not being used.
Yeah.
And so the fact that like they made his return a thing, or whatever, and then they paired him with them two like people from I think they were from that what was that Superstar Spectacle, whatever that was.
Yeah.
Mhm.
They paired him with two people from there or whatever. So yeah, he can uplift some fellow Indian stars. Okay, I did that. So he's coming back as a faction, they're making him a thing. And then the fact that you get him feuding with McIntyre. So again, it's a feud that is deep rooted in a lot of history and all that sort of stuff, and stuff that we've actually seen on TV. So it's not even that, oh, you have to fabricate this, or it's also that writes itself, and you can make this as personal or as interesting as you want.
Yep.
And I do think that the payoff from this match, in my opinion, would have been, okay then, so you give them a match, you make it so that the odds are seemingly stacked against Jinder Mahal, which they were because he can't take his lackeys to the ring.
Yep.
And then he's going to win. And the point is, when he wins in that fashion and on that stage, okay, you've now kind of solidified or brought up Jinder Mahal, and you can't even say at the expense of McIntyre because they're both champions. So former champions, sorry. So for McIntyre to lose to a former champion, it doesn't hurt him. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No,
so I would have thought that would have been the payoff. But instead, SummerSlam happens, and you give us a TV match with an actual, like, he used his comeback.
Yeah.
And his finisher.
Yeah.
Like, that was the ending of the match. He used his comeback, he did the countdown, he hit a Claymore and got the pinfall. I'm like, who the hell booked this match? Like, who literally sat there in the rehearsals and, like, you know, saw that or put that on pen and paper and was like, yeah, the fans will be okay with that at SummerSlam. And it's like,
you could have easily got that on Raw.
What?
Could have easily got that on Raw. Yeah, it shouldn't have been on the pay-per-view.
Like,
yeah,
it just I don't get how that made it through.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, you know, like when you get like when you see like these brands and it's like how things make it to print or make it to the internet, and like someone didn't like foresee that this was going to be the wrong thing to put out there. Like how it got to the point where they had match on TV at SummerSlam.
Yeah,
beyond me. But
I just feel like it was just like a not like an IOU, but I know that Drew McIntyre has been pitching to face Jinder Mahal to numerous times. He said there's a lot of lore and stuff, and it would be great. So they were just like, you know what, yeah, just fling it this. You ain't gonna be in the WWE title picture, kind of right now. So just fling this to you, and then we could use that as a way for you to catapult back into the title picture. But yeah, it didn't really do anything.
Do anything for him.
Huh?
Yeah, go on. Sorry, it did not do anything for him.
No, it doesn't.
That victory did not make me sit there and think to myself, "Oh yeah, Drew McIntyre, the next champion." Like, that really did something. No, it did nothing.
It just filler. Absolutely.
The only person that would have benefited from that was Jinder Mahal. So go on, Matt.
I do have a question for you guys because I noticed that's like even when we're talking about it, you know, like WWE rivalries like Jinder versus Drew. Like, don't you find that recent rivalries miss out key points in like the history between the two people that they're doing?
Oh yeah, they always do. They pick and choose who what is relevant and what isn't. Like there's numerous that, like, even with the John Cena and Roman Reigns rivalry, they didn't even mention their first match back at No Mercy. They kind of pretty much carried it on like as if it was brand new, first time ever. They didn't mention nothing that Roman Reigns beat Cena already, so they could easily use that as a way to say, look, I've beaten you already. You know, if you really want to run this again, I'll whip your ass at SummerSlam. Simple as, you know, you're nothing special to me. But they didn't bring it up, so they pick and choose what is relevant. Right. Like even going back with that, with the Edge and Seth Rollins thing, they thought they just pretty much just brought up that little segment that Edge pretty much was Seth almost broke his neck with 7 years ago.
Yeah.
But no one really nothing really mattered back into anything back then. But it's kind of like they shoehorned it into this to make it matter. So they just so they can make out like, oh yeah, it's long-term booking. Like, fuck off. Like, you know, they pick and choose.
Right.
They absolutely pick and choose.
We all forgot about that. Like, we all forgot about that.
Exactly.
We don't even forget where that actually came from as well.
Yeah, they didn't even make out like how that even originated. It was something with Cena, wasn't it? That segment.
Because basically they did that. So Seth Rollins did that. So John Cena can bring back the Authority.
That was it. Yes, that was it. Yeah, didn't make any like. Why couldn't you even put that in? If it really mattered, but it just somehow just said like he just was randomly in the ring and Seth could have broken his neck. with the Money in the Bank briefcase. Like, but why? Like, how? Why would you wait 7 years in the Yeah, nah, not buying it. But yeah, this one was by the numbers, 4 minutes 40 seconds, TV match.
Yeah,
a wasted spot, to be honest. Yeah, this did nothing for anybody.
Right.
So yeah, moving swiftly on. Match number 8.
Oh, quick. Oh. Can we do a break? I want to put the light further away. Put the light right there.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh God. Oh. My light seems to be bright and shiny right now.
No, you're fine. It's fine. So yeah, match number 8 was, of course, the triple threat match for the Raw Women's Championship, and that consisted of Charlotte Flair against Nikki Ash and Rhea Ripley. And of course, the winner of this one was Charlotte Flair, who is now your 12th-time women's champion. For
and of course,
fuck's sake! Like, of course, who was? To be honest, I didn't know who to pick on this one because I don't rate any of them. This one, I just.
I mean, it was obvious who was going to win. Literally obvious, though.
And that again, that also deteriorates the value of the Money in the Bank briefcase. She only had it for a month. So what was the whole point of her winning the damn thing in the first place? See, my theory is that because she's not getting that over with the crowd, I think that's why they kind of cut her reign short. Because I was fully expecting Nikki Ash to somehow retain. But for her to lose it after a month, after cashing in the Money in the Bank, she might as well have just cashed it in and failed. You know what I mean? But yeah, right. So now again they are fast tracking this thing to number 16. She's probably she will be the one that's gonna go 17 world championships. And overall, in terms of match quality, it was a typical Charlotte match.
Not right here.
Sorry? Huh?
Sorry, no, my dog was like right there.
Oh, right. Like, yeah, no, it was a typical. It was a typical Charlotte match, I must say. It was definitely a typical Charlotte match, and whether you think that's a good thing or a bad thing, that is your opinion. But yeah, the match was 13 minutes and 5 seconds long.
Only 13 minutes?
Yeah, I thought that was long. I thought it was longer, to be honest. It just kept on going and going and going. But I guess because I was not invested in it, I didn't want any of them to be a winner. I think that's why I was just like, it must have felt like it dragged for long. But yeah, 13 minutes, 5 seconds. And Charlotte Flair won with the figure 8, and she beat Nikki Ash cleanly as well, wasn't it? Yeah.
Right, yeah.
It was a clean
So again, Rhea Ripley is protected because she wasn't looking for the situation. However,
But yeah, go get. What's your thoughts on that, Mr. Rhymes?
Okay, so you remember earlier, Matt, you weren't here for all of this, but I was talking about my disconnect for characters, right? So I was saying I have a disconnect for Damien Priest because things don't add up in terms of his presentation. Nikki Ash is a disconnect for me because she doesn't make sense, right? Mm-hmm. And it was the same as what happened with Bayley when Bayley debuted on the main roster. Because the idea is that she was meant to be the underdog. She was meant to be, someone that we're meant to root for, meant to be someone that has a story. She's meant to be the one that we fight to get her up to the top. But she literally won the title within her first 2 months on the main roster, and then she won at WrestleMania. She's no longer an underdog. Do you know what I mean? She's up there. With Nikki Ash, it's like you debut this whole new character, this whole new repackage of you're almost a superhero, right? So the idea is that, again, we're meant to root for her. She's the underdog. She's not quite a superhero, but if anyone, blah, 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 we get it. The message is nice, blah, blah. But then she wins Money in the Bank. So, okay, that's not an underdog thing to do. And again, I don't actually think anyone was rooting for her in that match. But, she wins Money in the Bank. Okay. You then cash in on Charlotte, WWE Juggernaut. You cash in on her and win, right? That's one. And then 2, she pinned Charlotte Flair clean in a no DQ whatever match that was that they had on Raw. So she's not almost a superhero. She basically has dethroned Charlotte Flair twice.
Mm-hmm.
So what about her is almost a superhero? I don't get it. And I've never, mind you, I've been disconnected from her anyway. But then even just now, trying to kind of be like, oh, I don't understand why people hate that. I saw a video where she got booed at a house show or something like that.
Yes.
But then it's like, so I'm kind of wondering, oh, why is she not? I would have to kind of think, why do I not care for her? And it's like, yeah, she's not almost a superhero anymore. She is like legit, more or less superhero. She should be anyway. Fair enough now, I guess, now that she's lost. Now she can go back to being almost a superhero because now she's no longer a champion. But when you're champion and in a match with like Charlotte Flair, someone whom you beat twice, and honestly, I thought the outcome was going to be that she beats Charlotte Flair again in this match, like Rhea does the damage, Yash gets the pinfall or whatever. Because the idea is that now she can go on her tirade of beating or have her program with Rhea Ripley because Rhea Ripley pinned her on the Raw before SummerSlam.
Yeah.
So it's just one of those. It was a weird dynamic and stuff like that. Like, I don't get it, but the match itself, I was all right. I was here for the match. They took a really nasty tumble with that corkscrew moonsault.
That was really all. Yeah,
But other than that, the match was a typical Charlotte Flair match, as you said. So yeah, I didn't expect anything different.
Yeah,
honestly.
Yeah. What about you, Matt? What's your thoughts on it?
Honestly, I didn't watch the match, so I can't
Say no more.
I do have a valid point, though. I do think Nikki, when she first got brought into the main roster as part of Sanity and stuff like that, that gimmick she had then, even though all the members have been released and stuff like that, she should have been kept the same.
Yeah.
The same. I feel the same with Baron Corbin as well. He should have been the same lone wolf character that he had in NXT.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think now they've changed. Obviously, they've both seen completely ruined both their characters.
That's Vince. He pretty much sees a lot of people in NXT saying okay, that is your gimmick. Then fuck that. We're scrapping it and doing now. He's done it to so many. Look how many repackages he's done. He's done it to the Viking Raiders. He's done it to Damien Priest. He's done it to EC3. Brodus Clay. He did. He just does it. He just doesn't care what.
Remembers that one, right?
Yeah.
Big, that big monster we were gonna get, and then he came out dancing.
Yes.
Okay.
Fuck Vince, man. Fuck Vince. Hey, talking about that, who's seen the freaking GIMP version of Karrion Kross this past Monday on Raw? Have you all seen him?
Mm-hmm.
Jesus Christ!
This is the thing. This is why I was so disconnected. Why? With Karrion Kross, I feel like I would not be surprised if he's one of the ones on the next chopping list.
I think so as well. What are they doing with him?
It's just It's just and then even at Takeover, they presented him differently. He came out as his WWE as his Raw persona at Takeover, and I was like, no, this is not NXT Karrion Kross. Even the fans went into it
they didn't come out with Scarlett. He had the entrance coming out, that kind of thing, the entrance, but everything else was definitely Monday Night Raw Karrion Kross. I don't know if that's by orders from Vince or something. I don't know, but right now I was so into Karrion Kross when he first did. The entrance was amazing. Right. Everything. It was amazing.
I was riding that Karrion Kross train.
Now I wanted him to care,
and that's saying something. I wanted him to win that match, and he did, and I was here for it. But then he debuted on the main roster, and then he lost to Jeff Hardy. I was like, oh,
completely killed him. Took him to the shed and killed him.
Well, okay, where do we go from here? You're the champion
and undefeated.
He got beat by Jeff Hardy.
He got beat by Jeff Hardy, who's prominently on main event. Jeff Hardy, the 42-year-old wrestler who's not doing anything right now. He's not even in the title picture, not even in the mid card.
Right.
You lose to Jeff Hardy. Why did Vince choose that? Why?
Kind of was like, oh.
Triple H must have been seething. He wants to assassinate Vince. I'm sure he does. That was just absolutely terrible booking. And now,
I mean, I read somewhere that it was like the idea was that he was meant to be like a consistent loser on his Scarlet debuts. I get that. However, you can't start that in the midst of him being the champion, him going into the takeover with Samoa Joe and all of that. Like, it's just no.
You lose all the momentum, lose all the gas, lose everything. And the thing was, they pretty much on NXT, they pretty much carried on as if that never happened. It was like it wasn't canon. Like there was no talk about it. It was still trying to be a badass, but most likely people that are part casual, part kind of like, constantly watch the product, or if not, at least read the dirt sheets. They obviously they know that that you gotta be consistent. You can't fool them. It's not like a separate group that watches NXT. There are people that watches all 3 shows, and they just try to carry on as if like, yep, that never happened. This is Karrion Kross. This is the real Karrion Kross, and it was. But no, damage was fucking done, man. I was so ever since that loss, since his main roster run, I was so disinterested because I knew what the outcome was going to be at Takeover. But even then, I was just trudging through it. You know what I mean? I was trudging through the storyline because the mystique was gone. The mystique was gone.
Yeah, so, and also I think it's really unfortunate to say. Oh, hold on. So just for clarity, how did we end up on Karrion Kross? He wasn't even like.
Oh, that was me just saying about like just the character revamps. That was me because I said about the character revamps and how I think Matt was saying about so then obviously the Gimp mask.
I was gonna fully like continue on this, but I'm like, hold on, no, how did we end up on this? Okay, we'll get to him later.
Yeah, we'll get to him later. Don't worry, we're gonna be talking about Raw as well, so that's fine. So going back to SummerSlam, back on course. The next match number 9. Was Edge versus Seth Rollins.
Match of the night.
Yes, I agree. Also, entrance of the night. I must say that was Edge came out in the Brood. Came up from with the fire. The Gangrel theme music. One of my favorite theme music of all time. And yeah, it looked good. The match was great. Seth, they have great chemistry. The right person won as well, I must say.
Really?
I say the right person won. Yeah, I say the right person won. Yeah, definitely. In this situation, like for him to go to the depths and and only to lose, like I don't think Seth wouldn't really get anything out of it.
No, I think Seth Rollins should have won, and that was I predicted Edge would win, but my heart wanted Seth Rollins to win. I wanted to be wrong in that prediction.
Okay. Fair enough. But why do you think he would benefit from that more than Edge?
Because Seth Rollins, the idea is that Roman Reigns needs competitors.
Right. But I mean, Edge needs a win. He's lost. Edge has lost 2 major pay-per-views like so far. He needs a win somewhere.
Yeah, but then his win somewhere will be, I guess. If for example, like, I don't know, if he was going to have, like, I don't know, that big, because as much as Edge is healthy, it's unfortunate to say, but I do still think he is still, like, his neck is still a ticking time bomb, right?
Oh, yeah,
I understand that, I know his surgeries and all that sort of stuff, but there's only so much that he can do, or so much there's only so far that he's going to go before he starts having issues again.
Mm-hmm.
So rather than do that thing where you kind of drag it for as long as you can get, it should be like a, and it should be like a thing where Edge is pretty much there just to put over the younger talent. But Edge does that, and Edge just said that he's happy to do that. That's the way he sees himself. So, yeah, when he's having a match against Randy Orton and all that sort of stuff, yes, Edge should win. Yes, Edge should do this because, they're people that are already established. Yes, Seth is established. However, since being on Smackdown, I think it's funny that, like, Seth has never actually been in the main event picture.
No, he hasn't. No,
since he's been talking to SmackDown.
Yeah,
Seth Rollins has been like literally mid-card, upper mid-card. He has not been in the main event picture. So it would be interesting. So it's like, if he storyline wise feels like Universal Championship is in his wheelhouse as opposed to Edge's, then it would have made sense that you're going to take Edge to those depths and all that sort of stuff, and you're going to win. Mm-hmm. In my opinion, because then the idea is that if you win, then it's like, okay, then Edge took like that match itself. It was kind of thing where you see in the match, it wasn't like Edge got like a win where he didn't have to work for it. And same way, if Seth Rollins would have won, then he would have really had to work for that.
Yeah.
So I feel like the outcome should have been, in my opinion, that Seth Rollins wins, and that's like, okay, then so now there's always going to be that one guy there that is ready for when Roman Reigns needs him. Because right now, we get to that, but right now there isn't really anyone on SmackDown for Roman Reigns.
Yeah. No, I get that. But then again, in terms of consistency, that really, in WWE's eyes, that does not matter. Like, if I recall, he had a match at WrestleMania last year against Kevin Owens. He lost in emphatic fashion. The next night, he challenged Drew McIntyre for the world title. So it really doesn't unless WWE makes it matter. It doesn't. But obviously, in terms of consistency, like if it was AEW, most likely Seth Rollins would have won. Most likely. Let's just be real. But yeah. If WWE wants if WWE wants Seth to face Roman, they'll somehow force it. I mean, they did it. They also did it with Cena. Cena was not, and then somehow the contract basically says it's Finn Balor, but Cena puts it in really bad writing that he's facing Roman at SummerSlam, and that's valid when we all know that's not possible.
That means that Balor will be next, won't it?
Sorry?
That means that Balor will be next.
We'll see. We'll see. It's definitely...
Roman Reigns needs someone for Extreme Rules. We know he'll probably do the Brock Lesnar at Crown Jewel. And then whatever. Because, the idea is that Brock's there. He won't work Extreme Rules. Like, that's a waste.
Yeah.
So, he would get a big pay-per-view. And I doubt that they will waste Brock and Reigns at Survivor Series. I think they might either hold that off until WrestleMania, or like I say, they'll just keep it at Crown Jewel.
Yeah. They won't do it at Survivor Series. It's going to be champion versus champion, so they're still going to do the brand warfare thing that we all love, don't we?
Reigns versus Lashley. Ooh, I'm interested because Lashley won that match, didn't he?
Yeah. Well, so we'll see.
Won the last one.
That's if Goldberg doesn't kill Lashley. But anyway, let's move on swiftly. So yeah, in this match, what did I say? So yeah, Edge won that one by submission with like a sleeper crossface,
right?
Yeah, it's like the modified version of it. Yeah, the match was 21 minutes and 15 seconds as well.
So far, the longest part of the night.
Yeah, definitely.
The only thing about that match that kind of makes me like that is I'm thinking like, since Edge beat Seth, like what now? Like, where does Edge go from there? Where does Seth go from there? There's literally, unless they
might run it back. They might run it back because they might just have another match at Extreme Rules. Just run it. Yeah,
could do.
Yeah, they might just run it back and just have like some mad match.
And then this is the thing, like if they're gonna have match at Extreme Rules, what could they have? Like in terms of an Extreme Rules, whatever. What could they have?
Last man standing.
They could have the only two matches that they could have that are in Edge's wheelhouse. That again, if Seth Rollins is going to win, it would make sense. Is either a hardcore match or another match.
TLC.
No, not TLC. I think it would either be.
They wouldn't have TLC at Extreme Rules. They would have TLC at TLC.
Yeah. I think it would be either Last Man Standing or everyone's favorite Inferno match with the Brood and all that shit.
Okay.
They might do. They don't go over that well these days, but
the Ring of Fire. Man.
Yeah, Ring of Fire. Yeah.
That'd be interesting.
But
they bring that. But then, like I said, but Edge is another guy, and so Seth Rollins. So wouldn't it make sense to hang, I guess, Roman Reigns, the number one contendership leather match?
Okay.
Because storyline wise, Seth still feels like he's next in line. Edge has beat him, so I guess now put the contract up for grabs between the both of them.
I doubt it. Yeah. When's the last time that they actually put a contract up there? It's always either for a title or a briefcase. When's the last time they put a contract on for a ladder match? That's more
James
TNA.
Ellsworth versus AJ Styles.
Say again?
James Ellsworth versus AJ Styles.
Oh, fuck off, man.
Yeah, he is right. He is right, though.
Come on. Right. That's comedic.
Look at you, Matt. You dug deep into the archives for that one. I remember that.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, they don't do that. That's TNA talk right there, man. They love their contracts in the midst. So yeah, that's.
But if you're gonna put Seth Rollins over and whatnot, it makes sense to win the match in Edge's wheelhouse.
No, yeah, it makes sense.
I don't see Edge being as hardcore as like him and Mick Foley at WrestleMania. Like I don't see Edge doing that sort of stuff anymore. So therefore, a ladder match is a bit safer or a bit more easy to work around. So him and Rollins to do that easy.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. It makes sense. But well, fair enough. Yeah, we'll see what happens. But yeah, that was that match, and then the co-main event was Bobby Lashley.
Oh my God, you are really about to go to this. You're about to talk about Bobby Lashley and Goldberg, and you're going to completely ignore that Moist TV happened at SummerSlam.
Co-main event. Bobby Lashley. Jesus Christ, why you have to go and bring that up, man?
Are we going to ignore that my man Xavier Woods debuted as Razor Ramon?
Yes. Yes. That did not benefit anybody. That was a cringe-worthy promo for water. The crowd was dead throughout it.
Was that what it was for?
It was for fucking water, bro. It was for water. Yeah, what?
So that brand that was on the
Pure Life
and the brand of the band, they were just advertising that brand.
Yes,
that's what it was.
Yeah, for water.
Wow.
Dead. It was just that typical.
It makes a lot more sense now because I thought it was so random that what is this segment? But
yeah, typical nonsensical segment for promoting like sponsorships. That's what it was, just for water. Yeah, that never happened. Moving swiftly on. Yeah, so co-main event. Bobby Lashley against Goldberg for the WWE Championship. Now, this one, I was fearing the worst, but this one definitely ended with a whimper. It ended with a. It was just. It really felt like this had Goldberg's fingerprints over it. Like he did not want to lose to Lashley, so he did it. So he went out the coward's way via ref stoppage, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. I think maybe I don't know if Goldberg, like his WCW days, is like a creative control guy. I'm not sure, but it definitely felt like they probably racked their brains on how are we going to do this, because Goldberg still has to remain as that guy, but then you basically want Bobby Lashley to also be that guy, or on the level of those guys. So it's one of those ones where how do you do this without damaging Goldberg?
Yeah, because he really lost emphatically to... Well, he lost twice. He lost emphatically to Braun Strowman. He lost emphatically to Drew McIntyre. Then obviously you don't want to do that again. So it looks like the way they did it...
Going to keep losing his impact. And it's like, again, I thought it would have just been a hurt lock and you pass out. Rather than tap out, you pass out. But then again...
Yeah, you would lose a mystique for Goldberg.
Right, if you don't make to pass out by Lashley. But in the same breath, you're meant to believe that someone like Lashley is going to take it to Goldberg and do that to Goldberg.
Yeah.
I can believe that.
Yeah.
So this one really did feel like, okay then, so we've literally thrown every single thing or thought of every single way to do this. The only way that we can really do this to preserve Goldberg is a ref stoppage. Yeah.
Again, it definitely felt like we went out with a whimper either way. The crowd was booing the hell out of it. They were just like bullshit. And then Bobby Lashley was, of course, still attacking Goldberg post match with the chair, battering the leg. He had this leg injury, which caused a ref stoppage. And then out of nowhere, his little pitney come out of nowhere and try to put big ass, tearing ass Bobby Lashley in a freaking like sleeper hold. Flipping Lashley swatted him away and then just choked his ass out with the master lock. Choked him out with the master lock. And then
I will say, I do think that they messed that up because I don't think the crowd quite knew who the person was.
No one knew. I thought that was a fan.
Because Mike could be like, that could have been anyone. We didn't know that was Goldberg's son, which is why the crowd was like, oh. Because it was just so random. Like, it wasn't even say, oh, Goldberg came to the ring with him or something. No, random.
He just came out. I don't know where he came. Did he come from the entrance? Did he come from the jump over the barricade? Like what? He just came out of nowhere. No, everyone thought it was a fan, and then of course he choked him out. MVP was apologizing. We had no idea that was his son. Like from the I knew he was his. I knew it was instantly it was him, and I was like, what the fuck you doing? So he was like laid out. Completely like Peter Griffin on the mat, and then as soon as MVP said that it was his son, that's when Goldberg was like, "What? Who?" And he turned around, saw his kid laid out, and then they went up the ramp, and then you just kept hearing Goldberg saying, "I'm gonna kill you, I'm gonna kill you." So since because he said that, I got a feeling it's most likely Goldberg is gonna run that back, and I think this time he's going to win the title, possibly at Extreme Rules or at Crown Jewel. I got a feeling Goldberg is definitely. I think, he's gonna win. He's gonna win it.
the rematch will be at Crown Jewel, but I don't think Goldberg will win.
He has a decent streak going on at Crown Jewel right now. So, and they love nostalgia over there. They love nostalgia. So it wouldn't surprise me if he does.
He'll be there. I don't think that. I honestly don't see them being like, because then it's like if you put the WWE title on Goldberg, that would literally mean the next night that you do some kind of event, Bobby Lashley has to win it back, because we haven't had a part-time champion
since last Mania. Because remember we had Lesnar.
McIntyre beat Lesnar, right?
Yeah, McIntyre. Yeah, and then Goldberg beat Strowman. Yeah. So
right.
Sorry, no, is it last year? Yeah, it was last year. Yeah.
Last year or something.
Yeah. So,
but it's like we haven't had a part-time champion. We've had a champion that's been there and been very prominent. So I think for them to go back to having part-time champions, like no one wants that.
Yeah, no one wants that. But do you think WWE cares what you want? Come on now. Like, let's be real.
I think to a degree they do. Like even if the match is on right now, Brock Lesnar and Goldberg, Goldberg and Bobby Lashley, sorry. And they were wrestling at the beginning of this match, and I was really surprised by that.
Oh yeah. I was.
Oh, that when they were wrestling, I was like, Goldberg's wrestling.
Yeah.
Because honestly, I just expected that finish the best.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, but I think it's because we've gotten that so much lately with Goldberg as well. I thought maybe that's why they didn't want to run that thing, because they've done it with Strowman, they've done it with McIntyre. I think maybe just they're both similar size. Lashley knows how to carry a match, so maybe that's why they kind of did that. But I think it was just a lackluster finish. I think Lashley could have easily have won that. But again, at the same time, they did. You're right. I think they booked themselves into a corner. How to preserve this, and then how to ultimately. I think he's going to win the title. He definitely is. He's going to be the one to defeat.
And you see how he threw Lashley in almost like.
Yeah, that was some dangerous spots. There was some dangerous spots from both of them. Yeah, he landed on his neck. Lashley took out Goldberg on the leg. It looked like he landed on his shoulder as well. And Goldberg is so injury prone these days. Like, it could have been a concussion. But
How is Goldberg anyway?
He's like in his 50s.
Old. He's like 56.
Hold on 1 second. I'll get that for you now. He's 54, so not far off. 54. Yeah.
Wait, so he's only like a few years off. He's only like 4 years removed from Edge. Does that sound right?
Edge is 47.
47, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought he was 50.
No. Edge ain't gonna be wrestling till he's 50. I know that for a fact. He's not gonna wrestle till he's 50.
I mean, if he's still healthy enough, then sure, by all means. But then,
Nah.
I mean, Ric Flair was wrestling into his 60s, wasn't he? So.
Yeah, but that's Ric Flair. There's a difference, and he was safe. He's a safe worker to a degree. But yeah. Anyway,
how long was this match? How long was
this one? Was 7 minutes and 10 seconds.
Ugh.
Yeah.
When you think about it, like literally, like this, like WrestleMania Night 2, every single match was like less than 15 minutes. The only match that was long so far has been Edge and Rollins, right?
Yeah, that one so far has been 21 minutes 15 seconds. Yeah, but yeah, that's what's your thoughts on the ending of the match, Matt?
But correct me if I'm wrong. I swear this is Goldberg's longest match. I swear, like average.
Most likely.
Goldberg is like 5 minutes. Yeah.
Most likely, it's for the longest of time. Yeah.
Well.
Yeah. For the yeah.
Yeah, they were actually wrestling. So I'll give them that.
Let me see if I can find if someone's done actual stats on that Goldberg match times.
But overall, though, I do think, like, I'm glad Bobby's still the champion, and I hope Goldberg doesn't end up winning. But
you said you want Goldberg to win. Can we
I
mute
don't
him?
want Goldberg to win. I don't.
No. You do that to mute it for that.
Right.
Just mute him, like we'll put an X on your window. You're there in spirit.
There you go.
Goldberg. Actually, Goldberg can win as long as Lashley's not champion. I'll give you. Okay, I'll let you have that allowance.
There we go.
Do you know the person I actually want to beat Lashley for the title?
Big E?
Not Big E. The name I'd give to win the title is AJ Styles. Even though it's heel. Yeah.
But has AJ Styles beat Bobby Lashley before, like in TNA or Impact, whatever it was at the time?
I'm sorry. What? Sorry. What was?
I was asking. Is he saying that he would like AJ Styles to dethrone Lashley?
Not happening.
No. But then I'm saying that So in their Impact run, they weren't together at the same time.
No. Well, if they were, they did not really mesh together. They weren't at the same time. Yeah, because AJ Styles was obviously prominently around the TNA title, but so was Lashley. So yeah, I think Bobby Lashley came after AJ Styles left. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
I mean, I wouldn't be mad at that. However, I feel like the only way I would believe if AJ Styles wins is if he really doesn't. If like Omos wins and AJ Styles does the whole WWE champion thing.
Maybe. But I also think that
it's that thing where it's like Omos technically won the match, but then calling himself champion. Really, like Omos is champion. I can understand that, and I can rock with that as a clean 1, 2, 3 finish. AJ Styles,
no, I don't think so. I also think that AJ Styles' career is not I wouldn't say winding down, but you could tell that he's fine. He's cool where he is right now. I don't think he's looking to go for another WWE title opportunity right now. I think he's cool with it. You can see that it's starting to wind down, understandably. So yeah, we'll see. I can't. It doesn't tell me exactly his. I couldn't find a link that tells me all his match times, but someone put that his longest match so far, longest singles match is 14 minutes and 57 seconds. And that was against Triple H at Unforgiven, 2003. 15 minutes long.
That's sad.
It was a bore fest. That was when Triple H won the title back.
Yeah, like I said, I remember what happened in terms of...
Oh, right. Yeah, it was a bore fest. Absolute bore fest.
I'll tell you what happened in that match.
Yeah.
Wait, so does that mean that Elimination Chamber at SummerSlam doesn't count as...
Singles match. That's his longest singles match.
Oh, longest singles.
Yeah.
14 minutes. Wow, this guy really does not get booked in the ring for long, huh?
No.
How's that?
Cardio out the window, boy. But yeah. So yeah, Bobby Lashley won by a referee stoppage, 7 minutes 10 seconds. Not many. The crowd were booing it, even though Bobby Lashley won. The right person won. So just obviously the way it happened was just absolutely lackluster. So bit of a bad taste for the co-main event. Moving on to the main event was Roman Reigns versus Bald Patch John Cena. Bomba Clot. Did you see the freaking that hole in the back of John Cena's head?
I don't even like.
No.
I don't even rock for John Cena or like that. But his gear that night, I want it. I
like the shirt. I like that Super Mario shirt. That's very cool. I liked it. That's cool. And I like Sorry?
And it's Tron as well, the way he had all like the WWE title wins.
Yeah, that was badass. Yeah, that was badass. If I did put a request in for the missus to say like, yeah, this is what I want for Christmas, as well as I want a head of the table white T-shirt as well. So yeah.
Yeah.
I want the white
anything
T-shirt.
head of the table, anything Roman Reigns. Oh my god. Yeah. I love that I can like mark out for him now, like I truly wanted to back in the day.
Kept that on the down low. Kept on the down low.
But back then it was like, oh no, I hate Roman Reigns. I can't stand him. Really.
But you know with that like precise design, they had it in this old package thing where you had to spend like $1,000 to get like the shirt, all the gear and the special like WWE title as well.
Fuck me. Wow. Okay.
John Cena stuff.
No,
yeah,
Roman Reigns.
That design you can't get.
Oh really?
So it's an NFT.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Oh, that's shit. Oh, that's bad. Someone will sell it on eBay. No, I'll keep an eye out for it or something. But yeah, loved it. The match itself as entirely was great, solid. Huh? Oh, you loved it, yeah. It was great back and forth, false finishes galore. There was times where I thought that shit Cena might actually freaking win. He did a super AA from the turnbuckle. Put Reigns through a table, which ain't that technically a disqualification? Oh no,
no.
Okay,
that fly in these matches.
Right, fair enough. It was a clean finish as well. No interference from the Usos.
From one spear.
From one spear.
Yeah. I was so here for that. It was like Roman Reigns kicked out of free AAs.
Yes, with one super AA. Yeah.
Yeah, so like free AA, so AA free table and super AA and what's it called? Roman Reigns kicked out, and then that one spear. And Nick got the finish, and I was like, boom, I'm here for this. I was like, yes, this is what I wanted. This is what I wanted to see. Roman Reigns looked super duper strong.
Yes.
Because, at the end of the day, this incarnation of Roman Reigns, I'm 100% here for.
100%. You and me both. I think I was more I was up front with it. I was anti-Roman Reigns. And now I want this guy to keep the title up until at least, I'm fine with him keeping it up until at least WrestleMania. I'm fine with that. Even though he's slowly running out of people to face, but whatever. I'm sure they find a way. Keep him off TV if needs be. I've never. I can't remember the last time I've looked forward to his promos, to whatever he's going to say, or the stuff that's happening with the bloodline. Everything was great. The match was great. Even though my predictions was right on this one, but I think it solidified it more when he put that silly stupid stipulation in that if he lost he would leave. I don't think that needed that stipulation at all. People were saying that
it was just the drama because they didn't even focus on it. Like how normally when they say that they will constantly be like, they would have branded the match as career versus title.
No, yeah,
kind of thing. It wasn't even branded as that. It was just
that's what I'm saying. So like that just shows that they shouldn't have done it in the first place. Like why put it out there? It was a very silly stipulation to add. It did not need it. It didn't benefit anyone. And like I said, if anyone's just got a brain knows that if they put that stipulation, you damn well know that Reigns ain't going anywhere. It's Cena that's going back to Hollywood. So it didn't really benefit. But whatever, didn't detract away from the quality of the match. Great, solid. This match was 23 minutes on the dot. So this one was the longest match.
Really? See, again, it's not a long match. I thought this match went on forever.
I thought, but
honestly, I'm watching this match and I'm thinking, this is like a good 30, 35 minutes. Like this match went on forever, in my opinion. But 23 minutes, that was it.
Yeah, 23 minutes. Yeah. What about what's your thoughts on the match, Matt?
The right person won, obviously, as we all three of us can agree. Good match, like I said, and yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, so we can all agree in unison that the right person won. Yeah. Match quality was that. All right. So what was your match of the night then, Matt? Was that your match of the night? What was your match of the night?
Seth versus Edge.
Seth versus Edge. Okay, fair play. Fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
That was a very solid match. But yeah, this one was just as good. The right person won, and of course, so obviously Cena won cleanly. Obviously Reigns was celebrating. Got graced with the My girlfriend's called it the freaking, what is he wearing? Peppers? What is he, a vampire? I'm just like, no, you idiot. Like, what is he? It's not peppers.
It's meant to be like flowers, but then it's like hard now.
Yeah, it's like fake plastic. Yeah, something. Yeah.
Because I remember they called it a lei when Jey Uso was doing his entrance.
Okay, fair enough. I don't mean to offend anyone as well that's from that has the heritage. I can't think the name of what it is, what it's called actually. I don't want to say flowers because that's not the actual official word. So apologies for that, anyone. But yeah. So he was graced with that, and then all you heard was and then yeah. So Brock Lesnar returned in the get up that I was so happy that they did as well. When I saw those pictures where he was in the butcher's market or wherever it was in that Viking look, I'm so glad that he's returned with that look. Perfect. Makes him look like even more of a badass. The crowd was going crazy. And walked down to the ring. Heyman was just like, please God, no. Dude was crying his eyes out. I love Heyman's reactions. I just love his reactions when it comes to this kind of stuff. He's just perfect for it. So yeah, obviously Heyman was just like, what the fuck you doing here? Reigns was coming up to him saying like, what you want? And then Roman Reigns leaves the ring, leaving Lesnar on his ones. And then when it was off the air, then obviously Lesnar was posing in the crowd in the ring, brought in John Cena, gave him multiple suplexes and multiple F5s to end the show. And so it looks like he is obviously next in line to challenge Roman Reigns for the Universal Championship. What's your thoughts on that, guys?
No, not immediately.
Not immediately, no. They're going to prolong it.
In the whole pay-per-view, or maybe a few pay-per-views before
that match. No, I think, yes, it's... So Extreme Rules is at the end of September, and then Crown Jewel is on October 4th. So it's like the week after.
But the thing about Crown Jewel is that I feel like the reason why... As much as I was just saying, we were just talking about that would be the Crown Jewel match between Reigns and Lesnar. I feel like that match will be so, especially like with this branding of Reigns, I feel like that match is too big, and with the involvement of Paul Heyman with both like a conflict of interest to both stars, I feel like the essence or the theatrics or everything, or the whole package of that match will get lost on the Saudi crowd.
Okay, yeah, understandable, yeah.
You get what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like, I feel like it would be a waste to kind of hype or give us that big payoff or that kind of, we really want this match at Crown Jewel.
No,
like, you can give us a Lesnar match or give us a Reigns, give us something like to do with Lesnar, because that's probably why he's come back for that Saudi money.
Yeah.
But I just don't think it will be that. And if it is that, it will be like one of those, how can I put it? It won't be like, it'll probably be like how Lashley and Goldberg was. It'll be like a no contest, or it won't have a finish.
Probably. It will happen at Saudi Arabia, regardless, just simply because, again, WWE does not really believe in long-term storytelling. Like, yeah, you're right. It could ultimately, you could save that up until. Now, what's Mania. After until?
That's the big draw.
But again, we got Lesnar and Thingy twice already. Like at Mania, I don't know if they would run that back again.
But we had Reigns and Lesnar when Reigns was in his other phase. This Reigns and Lesnar, I think, is money. And when you've got the fact that Paul Heyman is involved with both superstars, there is a bigger story.
No, yeah, of course there is.
So it's like conflict of interest. Conflict of interest, essentially, not to say that they're fighting more or less over Paul Heyman, but it's more of a, you've got Paul Heyman who's just brought this guy up, like, for an entire year. Yeah. Lesnar who's already up there and whatnot. And then it's just like, you just have to have that big, massive payoff. And
of course. I agree.
The big massive payoff, unfortunately, I think is going to end up probably being WrestleMania.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. But obviously,
it might be that Lesnar wins the Rumble this year, not sorry, next year.
Maybe, yeah. I don't even know who. I have no idea who's favorites to win that. But
at this point right now, I can't. Yeah, at this point right now, I can't think of who I'd want to win the Rumble, but I wouldn't be surprised.
I didn't really have a favorite in the one before this year's. I didn't really have a favorite as much.
I had a favorite for the women's. I couldn't tell you for the men's.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I
mean, I was just like, I just hope someone wins.
Yeah. What are you gonna say, Matt?
But not gonna lie, I actually did think of a scenario in my head. Like when it comes to a match between them, what if, like, not necessarily similar to Seth Rollins cash-in, but what if, like, they completely tear each other apart, goes into no contests, or Reigns barely wins and he's got like nothing left, and then that's when Big E cashes in, wins the Universal title, and then it moves to Big E versus Reigns.
Yeah, that would be like the literal.
Yeah,
I'm all here for that, and ideally, if I want like there to be a big payoff. My only thing with that though is that if Big E cashes in on Roman Reigns and Roman Reigns is going to chase that title back down, I don't feel like Big E right now. Well, I don't know how he'll be in a few months or whatever, but Big E right now, I don't feel like he's bringing the fight to Reigns. I don't.
I think whoever takes the title off Reigns will be gone for a few months. I think that's what will happen as well. I don't think he will immediately go back for it. I think they will just use this title.
So they do like Sasha Banks.
Yeah, basically, yeah. Go away for a few months.
The title and then he'll go into SummerSlam.
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, he's putting so much. Sorry? No, I was just saying, like,
I feel like that happens every year.
But that's fine. Give fans a chance to actually miss you. It doesn't just because you don't have to always be on TV. There are people that you just like. It does work where when we get a chance to kind of forget you, and then when you do show up, you're like, oh wow, okay, now I'm interested again, kind of thing. And I think with Reigns, because he's literally been on the screens pretty much every week since he's returned, I think it's due for a time to give him a chance to just come off the TV for a bit. You know, I know he's on a hot streak right now with us fans and everything. But yeah, I think before you run it down to the ground like they usually do with Reigns, then give it some time. In terms of them doing this, in terms of Lesnar and Reigns at Mania, it could definitely, if they planned it right, it would definitely work. But obviously, to their detriment, they have pay-per-views every month. Now, if this was, I'm sorry to bring it up, but if this was obviously AEW, since they have pay-per-views every 3 months, you can definitely space it out for it to be this big culmination at Mania. But because WWE doesn't really believe in long-term booking, and whatever is on the TV right now, we have to like pretty much complete it within this spare period of time for it to matter. It wouldn't ultimately finish at or even last until Mania, as much as it would possibly make sense. But they don't have the creative to make it that interesting long enough to even go to Mania, to be honest. So, as much as that would make sense, unfortunately, that it just won't happen. It will just happen at a whatever marquee pay-per-view they want it to happen, which is obviously whichever gives them the most money, which won't be Extreme Rules, which will be at Crown Jewel. Whether it goes into a complete, will they be able to actually go to a non-contest, or if there was a clean winner, that's anybody's guess. But I got a feeling the culmination will happen at Crown Jewel, in front of a crowd that doesn't really deserve it. I'm sorry to say, or care. You know what I mean? And because we as fans that's watching it from home, and how many bad experiences that we've gotten from Crown Jewel or Super Showdown or whatever, we are not really that invested in that show simply because it's Crown Jewel. If it was any other pay-per-view, 110%. You know what I mean? But because it's Crown Jewel, no matter how good the match is, I'm saying if just because it's Crown Jewel, I don't think many people will care for it that much because of the bad history.
That's so weird because Crown Jewel, when you look at them on paper, not even Crown Jewel, but I'm just looking at this. Let's just use the Saudi shows as a whole, right?
Yeah.
When you look at them on paper, they are actually very, very solid match cards.
Yeah.
Like, if anything, you think that there would be amazing matches, but for some reason they just always fall flat. And I think it's the crowd personally, but
not even just the crowd, but there's so many bad history with the matches themselves. Like Brothers of Destruction versus DX. Sure, that's obviously a nostalgia thing, but that could have been great. Absolute dumpster fire. Goldberg versus Fiend. We all know what happened with that. Didn't make fucking sense.
Goldberg versus Undertaker.
Yeah. That's a dream match. fell flat.
Dropped on his head. Oh, God.
You know what I mean? So you're right. On paper, the matches are great, but the outcomes,
for some reason, they just don't deliver.
They don't deliver. So that's why there's a bad taste. So when it comes to this, yeah, like it could be great, but because of the bad history and we have trust issues, it could be a 5-star match. We'll be just like, but you still wasted it on this fucking pay-per-view where we don't really care for. Like, we all know the history, like, backstage about it. It's all this oil money that's bringing us this pay-per-view, and the bad history with that country. It's just not good. But I digress. But yeah, so that was the SummerSlam 2021 match card, and now thoughts on that. So overall, out of 10, go on, Matt.
One last point. I actually did see on social media that people were kind of taking a piss at what Brock is wearing, because he looks
like a cowboy.
Yeah, and it's identical to a Dean Ambrose sort of attire, and they actually showed pictures of them two, and they looked identical.
Right, yeah, it makes with the wife beater and the jeans. Yeah, no, I get that.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure that was unintentional. Like, because Brock doesn't rate John Moxley for some reason, but whatever.
You're wearing them big old boot cut jeans as well. Like,
yeah, I don't know what he does. He's got really weird dress sense. I remember back when he was in the Octagon, when he was going face to face with Daniel Cormier. He had this mishmash of a wardrobe on, and his dress sense is not that great. I'm sorry.
But what do you think about the physique-wise, do you think?
Sorry?
Like, the way Michael Cole was bringing him, the same as bigger.
Oh, he's jacked.
He look quite chunky.
Yeah, he looks good. I mean, he looks jacked. Definitely. I think he's the most, don't know what he's doing, but he's in the freaking forest and chopping wood and carrying logs and shit, man. Look at him. He's a Viking now, man. So, he's jacked. 110%. But overall, I'm looking forward to seeing what they do. Since it's in the capable hands of Paul Heyman and Roman Reigns, we're going to get the feud that we actually cared about, because the past two, we didn't really care. Obviously, that was the previous incarnation of Roman Reigns, but still, they didn't really.
Wasn't it 3 by this point?
Yeah,
this will be 3. Yeah,
because Roman Reigns has no. This will be 4 because Roman Reigns won one of them.
Right.
Because SummerSlam. Right.
So we had it at Mania. We had it at Mania again, and then we had it at SummerSlam.
Yeah.
Did we? Fuck.
Yeah, because Mania was Seth Rollins cash in.
Yeah. I know the two Manias.
Roman Reigns lost, and then there was the one when it was like a chair or something, and then Roman Reigns speared him and won.
Oh yes, yeah. I remember that, because I had that as my background as one show. Yeah. You're right. Yeah, they did face the SummerSlam. Fucking hell, yeah. So it's Roman Reigns 4. Yeah. Damn. Okay. But again, this is one that we actually cared about. Like, obviously, the main takeaway from the first one was obviously with Seth Rollins. No one cared about the second match. I don't remember fuck all from the third one.
Bloodied, right?
Yes. Yeah.
That's all I remember about that match. He was busted open.
Yeah. And it was just a really awkward finish. And then the show just ended. Yeah, it was really, really weird. So we'll see how it happens. I think it'll be good. Good timing for Lesnar to come through to tie us over to what might happen for Mania for Reigns, if he does obviously keep the title then. But all in all, out of 10, what would you give that pay-per-view, guys? Matt, I'll start with you.
I'll probably say 7. Yeah.
7? Okay, fair enough. Rymz?
Even though it had its...
Okay, so
on that.
Because even though it's had its good matches, like, there was still some matches that, like...
there were some dire ones that really took the wind out of it. Yeah. Obviously, the Alexa Bliss and Eva Marie.
Why would you go to that match first? Of all the things that happened, why was that you go to first? Come on now.
It was dire. That's what I'm saying. It was freaking. That's the main dire one. That one, and obviously Becky Lynch against.
That was your main worst match. That was your main.
Yes. Yeah. I would say that one, and obviously by a close bit is obviously Becky Lynch against Bianca Belair. Those two were absolute. Yeah. So I'll give it a 7. No, I'll be awkward. 7.5. Yeah.
How you can go up a rank
Just to be, that's what I said, to be awkward. 7.5. Yeah, be awkward. Fuck it.
I was gonna go for that 7.5 rating because I was like, okay, out of 10, you know what? It was still SummerSlam. It didn't deliver where I needed to, so I'll give it like 7.5. Yeah, I still can't get over Becky Lynch, so therefore I give it a 7.
Oh, fair enough. Okay, so yeah, straight up average 7. Fair enough. That's cool. So yeah, that is our thoughts on SummerSlam, guys. What are your thoughts on the pay-per-view of SummerSlam 2021? Let us know in the comments. But yeah, that has been our review of SummerSlam.